Hi, welcome back to another video. This video is about the ITIN. So if you are interested in getting an ITIN and you want more information about it, then this video is for you. All right, so it's brought to you by Leapers Connect Consultancy. We are business consultants and tax professionals. All right, so let's get right into it. An ITIN is a tax identification number. It's issued by the IRS for federal tax purposes, meaning it's generally for persons who have a tax liability. So if you owe, you had US based or US sourced income, then you are, and you have a tax liability, which is more than likely, then you would file a federal tax return and pay taxes on that. And in order to get the ITIN, you'd have to have a tax liability. So you have to owe something in order to get the ITIN. Right? So it's an individual tax identification number issued by the IRS for federal tax purposes. It does not change your immigration status. So it's the IRS Income Revenue Service, which is under the US Treasury, the Department of Treasury. It's not United States immigration. So it's not United States Citizenship and Immigration Services. It's IRS. So it does not change your immigration status. Federal tax return, as I mentioned before, is required for an ITIN to be processed. So you have to have income to report and then, and pay taxes on that. So that's what that tax return is. You report the income, you pay taxes on the income, and then an ITIN number is supplied once you apply for it with your tax return app information. A notable mention is we generate 1099s if necessary. So that's just a little plug in there for us. All right. Generally, a filing requirement is the reason for an ITIN to be issued. Just what I said before, you have to have income to report or an ITIN to be issued. You have to be required to file a tax return. All right. So docs required for an ITIN, a valid passport or foreign government issued ID, a secondary identification. It could be something with your name and address on it. It could be a secondary photo ID as well. Some supporting income supporting documents. So for income supporting documents, it could be bank statements. It could be maybe you got something that indicates an invoice. You issued an invoice or a check, right? So you'd have to provide me with something to show the income that you've collected, so we can use that to file your tax return. So you must not be eligible for a social security number or a green card. So if you are eligible for a green card, generally an ITIN is not something that you'd go for. You would just wait on the green card, unless there are other circumstances under which you would need an ITIN. All right, so frequently asked questions. How do I get an ITIN? So you have to provide my company. So my company under the IRS, we are certified acceptance agents, meaning we collect and inspect your original documents. And we, once we verify that it is authentic, then we send your tax return and a copy of that to the IRS, and then they process your return, right? And issue us your ITIN approval letter, or if they need supporting documents, they'll probably send that to you. They give us your ITIN approval letter. We will, of course, we keep a copy of it and give you the original once it comes available, right? So you submit your original documents, including your passport, to us. Usually we inspect it within 3 business days and send it back out to you. We only accept mail sent off with tracking. We do not, it has to be mailed to us. We have an address that we'll provide you with, but it has to be sent off with the quickest option to ship and with tracking, or we will not accept it. We do not, your passport and those documents are very important. So you have to send it as the quickest option to send. And you must also be sure to add tracking to it, right? If you're you needs be, you can add an option where we can sign for it in order to, where a signature is required for it. All right. So another thing, how do you get the ITIN? You have to provide income for a tax return preparation, right? So you have to provide income. If you don't have any income, it's very unlikely you're going to be qualified to get an ITIN. You have to have some income to report, right? And once you get the ITIN, in order to keep the ITIN, you have to have income to report. It's not something you go and apply for no reason or just to say you have it. It's important that you understand the reason why the IRS gives it out, right? So once the tax return and the ITIN documents are prepared, you are required to sign and date it, right? Um, and it is then sent to the IRS to be reviewed. And then you'll get notification from the IRS if there's anything that's insufficient. And then once we get the approval and the ITIN letter, we'll copy it and send it to you. All right, how long does it take? It can take up to 16 weeks. It depends on the season that we're in. If we're in tax season, it's going to take a longer time. So it can take up to 4 months. If we're not in tax season, it's a slower season, it could be processed a little bit quicker. But it is mailed to the IRS, so it may take a little bit of time to process. All right, so if you have more questions, this is a website that you can go to for the IRS to see other frequently asked questions. You can always pause the video to take note of what's on there. All right, so if you have any additional questions, be sure to let me know, and I'll take care of those questions for you. Okay, hopefully this helps, and I will see you in another video.